Welcome to Imagenomic's Portraiture 2, another one of Imagenomic's products which I really love. It's a full screen interface. I'm only shooting at 640 by 480, so we're going to go ahead and just glide around the interface. Okay, this is what we want to work with. When you bring in the program, it automatically applies a default setting. And let's see what we've got here. Over on the top left of the interface, moving down the left of the interface, yeah, you've got your presets right here, and you've got a whole bunch of different presets. You can go ahead and choose whichever one you want, and the effect will immediately come in. Enhance glamour, wait for the effect to come in, and there it is. You can do let me zoom in a little bit and then pull it over here so you can kind of see it coming in. There it is. You can do a before click, after, release the click, and you've got all your other presets down here. If you want to see thumbnails of the presets to give you a better idea, just click on where it says thumbnails. And you can also even get a better view by sliding this up to get a real good closer view of what the effect is going to look like before you bring it in. Okay, let's go back to the names only. Let's choose smoothing medium and see how we do when that effect comes in. It's pretty good. And play around with the presets first. That's always a great place to start. And then you can go ahead and do your fine tuning afterwards. So yeah, okay, so here's where you start working on your details here. I know there are fine details which I want to kind of smooth out a little bit, so I'll go ahead and move them in. You see some real subtle changes going on. Ramp up the medium, what does that do? A little bit larger details. How much smoothing do I want to happen there? Before, after. Kind of liking this. You have to be a little bit careful with all these portraiture programs in that you can have a tendency to overdo it a little bit, and it starts ending up looking a little bit artificial, right? So I do want the smoothing to happen, but I don't want to go overboard either. I might want to just pull these guys down a little bit. Go ahead and play with them as you see fit. And another thing you should do also, tell the program what kind of size image you're working with to start with. It will do a better job if you kind of give it a good idea how big your image is. Now when you move down the interface, in the next section, you see skin tones mask. This is just for creating a mask. You're not really making any effects on the image whatsoever other than trying to control where exactly the skin tones are. Now, if I choose, let's say I want a white mask there, the white is going to show you where it's being masked. So obviously you don't want any of the skin tones to be white. So I can see we've got a little bit here being masked out in the teeth, which is good, and also the eyes, which is good, and pretty much the hair. Be honest with you, I don't really mess with this much at all. Now, if you don't set a mask, what's going to happen is all your effects are going to come in on the image as a whole, and I really don't mind that because I'm working with portraits when I do this anyway, and if what happens is some softening in the background as well as the skin tones, I don't mind that at all. I kind of want that to happen because it helps the portrait, the face, stand out a little bit more from the background anyway. So as I say, I don't play with this, but again, this is just all for just adjusting the mask. That's all you're really doing there. Say I could pull that in. I could look at my mask in black, and that's extremely creepy. Really, I don't like that too much. But yeah. If you are going to go ahead and play around with the skin tones mask, then what you can do is come over here and mask preview. This will also give you an idea of where your mask is. Come back. What you can do additionally on setting the mask is click on this eyedropper. And then when you come around here, this is going to be a little tough to see, but I'll go ahead and get her on over here. Let's look at our mask preview. And as I roll that around here, you can see that it's determining where the skin tones are, right? That's pretty good. I'm not getting a whole lot of the lips. You see the lips are being masked also, and I'm not sure I want that. But it's doing an excellent job on the rest of it. I might just go ahead and click there, set my mask right to that guy. Good. There it is. Now this will go ahead and change as I move around here, but never mind that, because you can see I've set my mask. A little freaky looking, but there we have it. Let's put this back to show none so I can come back, take a look at the image and what's going on there with that. Looks real good. I really like it. Now after you get through with the top set of sliders and then play around with your skin tones mask if you want to, again, like I say, I love the job this thing does anyway right out of the box, so I don't play with it much. But then you can come down to your enhancements and make some further changes down there also. Warmth, for example, if you want to warm up the skin tones a little bit, pull your slider up to the right. There you go, not bad. And if you want to cool them down, which frankly, I don't think you really want to do that. Do you want to bring in a kind of a bluish, cooler tint to the skin? I guess it depends on what kind of effect you want, but usually I like to pull up just a little bit of a warmth into the skin tones. And you can put a tint on it also. If you want to drag that guy all the way up, bring in a tint, or drag it all the way down there to bring in more of a magenta, okay? So you're going kind of on the color wheel, opposite colors, magenta on your left, and more kind of a greenish up here, okay? And the warmth is bringing in yellows to the right and blues to the left, right? So these are opposite colors also on the color wheel, yellow and blue. So between playing with the yellow and the blue and the magenta and the green, you can actually really fine-tune the color cast, if you will, of the skin quite finely. And again, pretty intuitive here. Make the image a little bit brighter, make it a little bit darker, bring in a little bit more contrast if you want. But 99 times out of 100, I can tell you, I'll just be quite honest with you, what I usually do is I'm into portraiture and out of it in at the most about a minute, and this is really the key right here. Your presets. That always gets me, as I say, about 99% of the way, 99% of the way to the image that I finally want. Okay. Over here on the right side, you've got OK to accept all the changes that you did, and you've got also your cancel if you want to get out of it. This is pretty good. I always have this on new layer so that when I get back to Photoshop, all my changes are up on a new layer. Create transparency mask, right? So what that will do on the new layer is create a mask of, you know, in this case, the white area, which is kind of cool as well. Then you've got your navigator down here on the bottom. Just grab inside the red and slide that around to take a look at different parts of your image. It always pays to have your image up to 100% when you're doing your work. And up here you have your viewing options. That's the whole screen, or rather the whole single image after, before and after, before on the top, after on the bottom. You've got before and after side by side, before on the left, after on the right. It's pretty good also. Check them out. I usually do this actually. I'll pop back and forth. I'll make adjustments in the whole after image, but then I will pop back and forth. Yeah, fast preview. This is for machines if it's kind of a not labor intensive, memory intensive program, but most modern computers have enough memory in them to be able to handle the accurate. Works your memory a little bit more, but yeah, should be no problem. But if you do have kind of a slow machine, put it on fast preview. And that is about it for our quick look at Portraiture 2, a just fantastic program. I really love the program, and I highly recommend it. Okay, if you're doing portraiture work, definitely take a look at Imagenomics Portraiture. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.